welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Hi guys, my name is Brooke, and on this channel I talk about my personal finances, my lifestyle, and all that good stuff. So if you like that kind of content, make sure to subscribe. OMG, y'all, it is now the end of September. It is almost October, so we are in the last quarter of 2025. That is so incredibly crazy, and the last 3 months just feel like a blur to me. Like, all of my family birthdays happen in the last 3 months of the year. Then you have the holidays, and so it's just like the last 3 months are so crazy. So let's get into how we did in September, and then we'll go and see how October is shaping up to be. I love doing these budget recap videos for you all, just talking about how the last month went, talking about what I want to do for the next month, and all that good stuff. So let's go over to my budget spreadsheet. So now that we're in our budget spreadsheet, let's go ahead and look at how September went. I do just want to lay the background for my finances. I am married, and my husband and I do combine our finances. So this is going to show our joint money that we make together. And also, this is just for educational purposes only. I like financial transparency, and all of these numbers that you are going to see here are just reflective of my budget. Your budget is how you make it. So personal finance is personal. And yeah, let's look over our income summary. So all of this money that you see here from our pay is after taxes and insurance and 401k contributions. So this is our net income. So we already account for all of that. In our other, I want to just give a big shout out to whoever used my Ally savings link. I made $50 inside of my savings account this month. I'm so grateful for anybody who has used my link. I really appreciate it. You get a little bit of bonus, I get a little bit of bonus, and it's just really nice to see that in my account. So if you ever want any of those links to any of the stuff, they're always in my description box. All right, and in our bills, all of our bills are pretty normal, except for water was a little bit higher than I had initially planned for, but that's fine. So our phone bill is $5 over, and that's because we went to Mexico, and when we were in Mexico, I used the Global Pass for my phone, and that was $5 a day. For the rest of it, we just used our eSIMs that has data only, but for that day, I was waiting for like a text message, and I can't get text messages on data only, so I just went ahead and did the $5, and that's totally fine. Our security, Simply Safe, it did go up $1 per month, which is totally fine. So they have been upping it, every few years, so it's been at $31.99 for quite a while, so just bumping it up to $32.99 is not really that big of a deal. And now let's look at our expenses. I'm actually really proud of us for our expenses. I think we did a really good job of staying under, and that's really good to see, because I thought that we had spent quite a bit of money this month, but we actually still have a little bit of buffer left. Now, in our groceries and household, this is under because we were on vacation for 1 week, and before we also tried to make sure not to buy too many groceries before we left on our trip. I do have to go to the grocery store tonight, and today is the last day of the month, so I'm going to do that. But I just need to buy coffee and bananas, so it won't be like too crazy, and we'll still be under in this category, which is really good. In our gas and transportation, we were way over here, and that's because we had to get our oil changed, and I just didn't properly plan for how much that was going to cost. They did up how much it cost, so that's fine. Also, when we drive to my parents' house, which is about a 4-hour drive, which we did this weekend, we had to fill up twice. So we usually don't fill up that often. And so I also noticed that gas prices were a little bit more expensive where they live. But I think that's fine. In total, our expenses were still under, which is what I try to aim for. When I look at this, I'm not trying to be very specific about making sure any categories are under, but I do like the total number to be under. In giving, we are Christians, and we do believe in giving to our church and nonprofits, and I just blocked that out for privacy purposes. In our therapy, this is just for my husband's copay. He goes to therapy once a month, and that is his copay. My therapy is covered by my work, so I don't have any copay for that. In gyms and subs, we're a little bit under here, but I think we haven't accounted for one subscription yet. I think it might be the Spotify subscription or I don't remember. I think it's the Spotify subscription. So this should be zeroed out pretty much, and I'm fine with that. In our spending, we were both under here as well, and I'm even trying to think about what I bought. I have been enjoying playing some phone games, so I like bought some like credits in the phone game, and I deleted that game because I was like, I am spending way too much on this phone game. So I deleted that. When I was on my work trip in San Francisco, which I have a work vlog up, and I would love if you wanted to watch that. I went ahead and went to the Nintendo store because there's only 2 in the entire US, which I did not realize that. And so I was literally staying at the hotel that was right above the store. The store was like on the corner. And so I was like, of course I'm going to go to the Nintendo store. And then that was where I bought my Oshawott plushie, which I showed in my work vlog. So that was what is in my spending. In my husband's spending, I think he did some like video game stuff. And he has a couple of things that he wants to continue to buy as well. So all of this rollover money in our personal ones is not going to be the joint rollover for the entire budget, because I'm just going to leave that excess for each of us to spend as we go forward in the next month. And I think that that's fair, because I don't want to bring that money and just be like, oh, that's going to go straight to my car, because that's his like extra money from his personal spending. So that's just how I see it. In our guilt-free spending, we were under here, which I'm also surprised about because I felt like we ate out quite a bit. We also went and got dinner a couple of times, but I feel like we've been pretty good about keeping our guilt-free spending in check, and I don't feel like I am being deprived of anything. And you know, this also includes buying a couple of gifts because it was my sister-in-law's birthday this month and my sister's birthday this month. So we had a couple of birthdays and we bought some cards and gifts and things like that. And so I'm really happy with that. We were under. In our miscellaneous, this is over, but again, we're not crazy over here, $325. And I didn't even think that we were going to be that much over, but I think one of the things that we had to pay in the miscellaneous category was my prescription and stuff like that. So that's totally fine. I'm like, there's really nothing that I can say about the miscellaneous because every time I just forget what I label as miscellaneous. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I think every budget should have a little bit of leeway, a little bit of like place to dump money that's just random, because you're going to forget, and not everything needs to be categorized in my brain. Like, I just feel like when I did that, I was so restrictive that I just like sucked the joy out of my life. So having this miscellaneous category has been really nice and just allowed me more freedom and flexibility. All right, now let's look at the savings and sinking funds, which is my absolute favorite part of the budget. I say that every video, but I love saving money and just seeing my accounts grow and knowing that that money is going to help me in the future buy the things that I want. So with our emergency fund, our goal here is to bring it up to 6 months of expenses. And that's just because of, you know, everything going on with the economy and stuff like that. I just feel more comfortable having extra cash on hand just in case anything happens. And so this is going to be one of our last months that we're putting this much in here, and then we will move on to our next goal, which will be our house fund. So $1,500 into our emergency fund. Our gift fund and car maintenance and health and wellness are all the same. They are on auto draft out of our checking account, but we just like to set aside money for giving gifts to people for birthdays, weddings, you name it, holidays, that kind of stuff. And then at the end of the year, we take all this money and it goes to our Christmas gifts that we buy. Car maintenance, we kept putting in here because also this money covers our insurance and our taxes and registration, which is coming up in November. So I'm trying to build that up so we have enough money to cover all of that. And we got the bill in the mail, so now I know how much it's going to be. And because I bought that new car last year, my taxes and fees have gone way up, but it's because one, I'm in a more expensive county. They have more taxes. And two, like the value of the car is just so much more. So we are having to pay quite a bit for that, but that won't be till November. But that's what I use the singing fund for. For our health and wellness, I'm just trying to get this up to be equal to our high deductibles. So we have high deductible healthcare plans so that we can have HSAs. And we are just saving that HSA money for right now so that it will continue to grow, because you can invest in your HSA and that money grows tax free. And you can always take out your money from your HSA for qualified medical expenses tax free. But right now, we're just cash flowing that so we can see that growth long term in those HSA accounts. And so in our vacations, because we went on vacation this month, I did put less in. I put in 160, and we usually do about 300, but I brought that down just a little bit to cover some of the stuff that we wanted to do. And we also did spend from this because we didn't have enough in my Mexico singing fund, because we did an extra thing that I had not planned on my budget spreadsheet for our vacations, and that was going and getting a massage. We're just like, oh, let's go. So we did that, and we also did their hydrotherapy. And so I did a cold plunge for the first time ever, and oh my goodness, it was so cold. We did a sauna, we did a steam room, we did the cold plunge, and oh my goodness, I was like feeling it after that. And then we went and did the massage. So that is where that was. It was a very expensive massage, and this included tip. And we also did like a couples massage, so it was like together in the same room. So it was really nice. In our annual sub fees, again, this is the same as always, $130. This covers our annual subscriptions. I don't like to break it down by like putting $5 here and $5 there for like all my different annual sub fees. I have a subscription sheet, and then I just tally all that up, and then I divide that number by 12, and that's how much money I save each month. So that's where I got that number. We did have to spend out of it, and this was for our Planet Fitness annual fees. There's like a small annual fee each year to go to Planet Fitness. And then for our house funds, very exciting, we put aside $1,000. So even though we put aside $1,500 in our emergency fund, we were still able to put aside $1,000 in our house fund, and I'm so excited about that. For our Mexico singing fund, this will be the last time that you see this on our budget spreadsheet, because our Mexico trip is done. So now what we are doing, because our next big goal is to move, we are putting aside our high yield savings interest into our house fund so that it will continue to grow as we work towards getting up enough money for a down payment. And also we spent out of it, so it's completely at zero now. We don't have any money in it, which is why we had to pull from the vacations fund to cover that stuff, because we don't have any money left in there. And honestly, that's what I like about Singing Fund, is just allowing it to be like, hey, we set aside this money for a specific thing, and now it's done. And that's what we're doing. In our new tech fund, we've just been putting aside $100 so that we can cover any new tech that we want to buy. And then for our New Orleans trip, this is where that $50 that we got from whoever used my link, that's where I put it. All right, in our investing section, this is always the same every month, and it's because I like to set it and forget it. I bet you guys think I'm a broken record. I think I'm a broken record sometimes too. So that's what we're doing, but our main goals here are to invest in our Roth IRAs, $7,000 each, and also in our joint brokerage account, which is just an after-tax brokerage account, $10,000. So we went ahead and did all that. We funded all that. And then in our debt summaries, we have just been paying the minimums plus a little bit of interest on each of my husband's student loans, because they have such low interest rate. And then we added a lot of extra money to my car loan because of just some extra money that we had. And now my car loan is now officially under $3,000. So we are in the home stretch for this. I'm so excited that we got it under $3,000 this month. And I am excited to see if we can continue to pay this off by the end of the year. I know that at the end of the year, we always get a little bit of bonus money and things like that. So I think that that is definitely doable to pay it off by the end of the year. And then my car will be fully paid for, and I'm just going to drive it till forever because I love it so much. So yeah, I am really excited that we hit that milestone of being under $3,000. And finally, let's look at our cash flow summary, because I love to see this little pie chart. Oh, shit. You need to edit this.
I did this. It doesn't include my sinking funds. Give me a second. Okay. Oh, I'm having to do this. Customize my pie slice so it fits my color scheme. Pink. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That looks nice. Okay.
You know I love my pie chart. You know I love how I can see everything, how I can see all the percentage breakdowns of how our cash flow was. So in bills, 13.7%, really nice. Expenses were only 14.2%, so that's also great. Our savings were at 26%. That is amazing. That's our emergency fund, our house fund, and our health and wellness. And our revolving funds are just our sinking funds. So, honestly, if you add those up, that's over 32%, which is crazy that we saved that much money. Our investments were 18.4%, which is really great to see. Our debt payments were 11.2% because we put extra towards my car. And in our sinking funds, we spent 8.5% out of our money on sinking funds. So that is how September went. We had so much fun on vacation, had a great time on my work trip, and I honestly, like I said, I was just surprised that we were under in our expenses because I thought we were going to go over, but I'm very proud of us for that. So now let's hop over to October to talk about what October is looking like. All right, now we're in October, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited for October. It is my birthday month, and we also had $100 of rollover. So in our bills are looking just the same, and I just added that extra $1 for our Simply Safe, so that's still around $1,500. I feel very comfortable with that. It's a great number. And then in our expenses, so we are not going anywhere. We're doing like all the normal stuff for everything. So I put our grocery budget back up to $650. I put our gas and transportation up to $200. And part of this money is going to go to when we go to New Orleans. We're going to park our car. We like to park at the airport. I know that different people have different ways that they like to do airport stuff. But for us, it's just we feel like having the car there is very convenient. And in our area, like taking an Uber there and back from the airport costs just as much as parking it. So that money will cover that. For therapy, I did put in our $108 because we are looking to go to couples counseling at least once more this year. And so I'm just putting that in. So whenever we go, we have that money ready to pay. In our gyms and subs, this is going to be our normal $188 for our gym memberships and Netflix, Libro FM, Spotify, that kind of stuff. We just like set it and forget it for these bills as well. So I just don't really remember. In our spending, I am keeping it at the normal amount, even though it is my birthday month. I'm keeping that normal for me because I do have that rollover from last month of about $50. And I also have a Banana Republic $50 gift card that I got through Fetch. I really love Fetch. It just lets you take receipts and take pictures of them. You get points for that. And then if you play phone games, like I like to do, you can get extra points for playing phone games, and you don't have to purchase anything on the phone games to make that. And then you can redeem those points for gift cards. And so I redeemed it for a Banana Republic gift card. So I'm going to be using that. So I think that's good. I do want to buy some new Allbirds. I have had my Allbirds now for 6 years. They're probably one of my favorite casual sneakers. They are so comfortable, but mine are a little, they have lost their tread. They're definitely on their way out, and they have released a new collection with like Pantone, and so they have some great new colors and style. So I am going to look on Allbirds and see what they have in stock because I really like their shoes. They last really well. I think they're really well made. So that will probably be my birthday gift to myself, is a little Banana Republic shopping spree and some new Allbirds. In my husband's guilt-free spending, we just keep this the same. And then in guilt-free spending, we brought it up to $535. So we are probably not going to spend all of this again, but we do have some more birthdays that we have to get through. My best friend's birthday and my twin sister's birthday, and then we have some friends' birthdays as well. So I've got some different things I need to buy. And then in our other, I just put 1142 here because that was how much we had left over. And if you're new here, I like to do zero-based budgeting where I assign every dollar a job. So at the end of the day, the money that we're bringing in is going to equal the money that's going out. So that's a zero-based budget. I find it the easiest way to budget. in our savings and sinking fund. So 1535, like I said, this is going to be the last month that we're putting this money into our emergency fund because we are going to hit our emergency fund goal at the end of October, which is so exciting that we are getting done with this goal. I will probably make a goal updates video like at the end of the year or something like that, just so you all can see like all of the financial things that we've done with our money. I think that will be a really exciting end of year video. Gift fund, car maintenance, health and wellness, vacations, annual sub fees are all the same as they are every month. And I just really like it that way. Our categories are pretty much the same every month here. And I like that. In our house fund, we are only putting aside $600, and that's a little bit less than last month. And then in our new tech, we're putting $100, and now I can get rid of our Mexico one. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that out because we are finished with that goal. I'm not going to move anything else up because that's going to mess up my formulas, but we'll just keep it for now out of there. Mexico is done. It was so much fun. And we get to work on our next goal, which is moving into a new house. For our investments, we're keeping it simple. $584 in each Roth IRA and $834 in our joint brokerage account. So in our debts, we're just going to be putting aside our normal money to my husband's student loans, and then we are going to be setting aside $600 to my car loan. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching. This video is already like 30 minutes long, so I appreciate you all so much for sitting through it and just coming up and showing up for my videos every week. I really appreciate all of you, and please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, y'all.